perps? Kid Copious, back in effect. Purple State Party, you know what we're trying to do here? We're repping America, the center, common sense, freedom, and peace in Israel. Full disclaimer, I almost didn't make today's show. Yesterday was really tough on me. I suffered anxiety and depression all my life. Didn't find out what it was until I was in my late 20s. Thought I was going to die. Got proper medication, started to deal with some issues in my head, I guess. Some of them are just chemical and there's nothing I could do about it. And yesterday it reared its ugly head. But, with 50 years of experience at this shit, I weathered the storm. I sank into the mud. I embraced my sadness. And, I got through it. And despite how I may have felt, I was happy to wake up this morning. I'm still bummed. The channel's not doing well. The message isn't getting out there, I guess. People don't like what I'm doing. They just ignore it. They just think I'm a clown in a mask. I'm just trying to, maybe reach the alts out there, the people who get what I'm trying to do. But most importantly, I'm just trying to get people to realize that we have the power to pull things to the middle, to end discussions on stupid shit like abortion, and to end some of this dumb shit that's going on with the social war that's going on between the two parties. I'm going to get more into that later. But there is a solution to what's going on in the world and what's going on in our country and even in the state of California. And it's not going to be solved through politicians. It's going to be solved from people. We need to realize that there are businesses, whether they're selling stuff, widgets to the public, or they're selling ideologies like environmental groups. These are the real people that need to be stopped. But the only way we're going to stop it is if we get people in charge that, understand that the answers are in the middle. So let's get this popping. Well, that's why I stopped using those, folks, because they kind of suck. I like my gun. I got to get more ammo. Uncensored, baby. One thing I told myself, reminded myself when I was looking at my numbers and the algorithms and just the 3.5 years, and I've got like a couple dozen followers. Great. Okay, so I'm not exploding onto the scene, but I remind myself, what's easier, preaching or proselytizing? See, anybody can preach to the choir, as they say. I could run around and just be one-sided. I could be all on the left or all on the right. Fuck, I could just do pure anarchy. I hope I'm doing closer to pure anarchy right now. I was down. I was ready to quit. But as an American, I fight despite setbacks and a lack of victory. This country is too important to me. And not the America that people want to paint it to be. This isn't about like white people having all the advantages, but it's also not white people are the enemy. I saw some Instagram clips, probably from TikTok, that's the world now, where they were asking college students if they were proud to be white. Hey man, look, I'm white. You see that? I'm white. I'm not proud to be white. What is white? I had no choice in that matter. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud to be an American. But I'm the America of the melting pot era, where you came over here and you understood other people's values and cultures. That's what I'm proud of. But where are we now? People come over here, live in America, and hate America. That is mind-boggling to me. But that's the state we're in. One of the other things that really got me down, when my depression kicks in, it's not triggered, okay? But coincidentally, I realized yesterday that Twitter, aka X, is just an echo chamber now. I used to go on Twitter to look for that pushback, to see both sides, because I hate fucking echo chambers. Echo chambers are what got us in this fucking mess. You know, do you really want to take advice from people who only see one side of an argument or only see one solution? That's not, there is a multitude of opinions and ideas and options and solutions out there. And we keep choosing the ones that come from one of two boxes. You know, you wouldn't want to go to a psychiatrist. You know, I myself, to get treatment for my depression, I went straight to a medical doctor. Why? Because that was what the problem was. It was a chemical imbalance. There wasn't a lot of issues to work out. I had a lot of drug and alcohol problems when I was younger. You know, I did have a lot of issues, but I had worked through the issues of my childhood. But if you went to a doctor and he only pushed one course of whatever, surgery, mental health, whatever you want to say, one opinion, that's why they have a second opinion. If doctors and in the medical field get second opinions, I think we all need second opinions. And seeing that Twitter is now just an echo chamber, it was really depressing, because the more we're pushed to the sides, the less chance the middle has. And they know it. So this is a popular refrain right now, you know, clouding the issue with, oh, there's fine people on both sides. Remember when Trump said that? He was vilified. But right now, the media is supporting, or at least seeming to support, this whole idea of the pro-Palestine movement. You know, until Hamas is gone, they say that's further down the road, okay? You know, the truth of the matter is that Palestine had their own control. Hamas basically, you know, ran the opposition out and took control. Okay. You know, it's regrettable what's happening to innocent civilians, but that's all on Hamas. And that's where the focus needs to be. The media needs to steer the course. And instead, they just steer to one side of the road constantly. And we're seeing Jewish people here in America being attacked. How is it their fault? How do they have anything to do with it? You know, you want to protect the Palestinians, but where was the show of support for the Israelis who died? Where's the outcry for that? It's not there. Because again, this is one of these radicalized issues that they could throw out and try to build support off of. Just like, hey, look, 2024, right around the corner, I guarantee you right before the elections, they're going to pluck some story out, twist it around, and point out that cops are killing black people. That's the same tactic they're using here. And I get it. You know, the Republicans play right into it. You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene says stupid things. The left does stupid things. And the media uses Marjorie Taylor Greene to hide the left and say, well, look what she said. She said space lasers were what actually attacked Israel. You know, or some dumb shit like that. She didn't say that. So I forgot what her laser beam theory was. But she's saying the stupid things. The left is doing the stupid things. Right now, look around you. Did anything that Trump ever say affect your life right now? Or is it the policies, especially here in a place like California, where we don't have enough water, but the environmental group says you can't build a reservoir. So Gavin Newsom says, okay, we're not building a reservoir. And we just let all the water out to the ocean. Oh, you can't clean up the forest. Then the forest burned down, taking along homes and power lines and all that shit. So right now, it's the left that's doing things. That's one of the reasons why sometimes I seem a little more to the right. The right, we'll get to that. But, oh God, this stuff with the pro-Palestinian rallies, attacking Jews outside of the Museum of Tolerance, and nobody really calling that out. And the people who are instigating these things are fed by the left. You know, you talk about stupid things. You know, look at New York having to make a course correction here. They have to turn back to diesel snowplows and leave electric vehicles behind because the electric ones failed testing. It's fine to electrify what can be electrified, but we don't have an infrastructure to support everything, and not everything is going to work on batteries. 3 years ago, New York Department of Sanitation ordered 7 rear loader garbage trucks that were going to be able to, plow snow also. But they've not been able to find electric trucks that are powerful enough to plow snow like the original diesel ones. They spent $500,000 on each one of these vehicles. Who cares about the numbers? We need them to go 12 hours or so. And I do not see today, given the current state of technology, a path forward to fully electrifying the rear loader portion of the fleet by 2040. That's Jessica Tisch, the commissioner of New York Department of Sanitation. So turn around. But they're not going to. They're not going to. You know they're not going to. Look at 2019, AAA. I mean, I think we could respect AAA for their knowledge about cars. An electric vehicle's driving range can drop around 41% when it's 20 degrees and the heat is on. Okay, so they're not going to work in a large portion of the country. If you want an electric vehicle, if you can support an electric vehicle at your house, because they're, $3,000 for a charger. Not everybody can afford that. People live in apartments. You can't put a charger down in your garage or in your bay or wherever it is that you're parking or out on the street. It's not going to work. But yet a lot of our cost right now for goods and services is being driven by the Biden war on fossil fuels. Further proof of that, Senate had to vote down the Biden decision to waive Buy America requirements for EV chargers. So they don't have enough chargers. They're going to need to exceed the limitations for foreign bought parts and supplies and blah, 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 blah. So they're going to waive the Buy America. One of the common sense thing to be, we're going to do what we can do here, and then once we've exhausted those resources, we're going to stop until we can build up more resources. Why do we have to put money into China's pocket to achieve this green goal if China's not doing anything about it? You see, it's ridiculous. I just saw a video where there is now a service that will go around, a roadside service to charge your vehicle. They run a diesel generator. Well, here in California, those generators are going to be outlawed. So how is emergency service going to charge your car on the side of the road? Instead of worrying about what's important to us, they're worried about what's important to their corporate overlords. Pure and simple. Somebody has got their bug up their ass to make everything electric, and I'm sure there's people behind it that are going to make billions of dollars, and we're going to have to suffer. They just don't care. Democrats passed a new law requiring a kill switch in all new vehicles. So in other words, hidden within this law, there is a provision that will passively monitor the performance of a driver of a motor vehicle to accurately identify whether that driver may be impaired and prevent or limit motor vehicle operation if an impairment is detected. Whether you want it or not, your car will let you know, okay? So this guy Massey tries to amend the law, and it gets shot down because they want to leave it in there. One of his big concerns was false positives and crushing your liberty. Because we do have the right to just drive if we're drunk. I'm sorry, I know it's against the law and you shouldn't do it, but you have the right to do it. That's the crazy thing about freedom. You have freedom. It's how you apply it. But what if you were injured? What if you were fleeing harm? What if you were in a situation where you had to drive drunk? Somebody's life is on the line. Your car's not going to work. And the worst part about this is that people are going to ignore it, even though it is a big red flag. So typical of the Democrats to think that the government should control you. The government knows best. No, they don't. No, they don't. Can you imagine as this technology ages and sensors in your car start to act up? Yeah, it's absolutely stupid. It's like every time I stop the car that I drive for work and it shuts off the engine at red lights. Well, once it almost didn't start. Right there. And it could happen on the freeway. It's just stupid. Technology needs to be dialed back. The simpler things are, the easier they are to fix. I mean, my mom just paid something like had to pay $3,000 to get her mirror fixed because they have to sensors and all of that stuff. I love those sensors, don't get me wrong. But the more you put into them, the more it's going to break. But, with all these dumb ideas coming out of the right, instead of coming to terms with the whole abortion issue, the right is still ripping its own people for any sort of compromise. Nikki Haley says that we need to start being more understanding about it on the Republican side. And they're like, we don't know about that. Well, there's numbers out there to prove where the people, lie with this issue. And hopefully they start following it because, we can't sacrifice America just because one side thinks abortion is abhorrent and wants to pass laws preventing it. It's ridiculous. It's not a hill to die on, and it's the pinnacle of the hill to die on for the Republicans. A lot of the problems we're having is because we need to go back to making people earn leadership roles. It's not just anybody with a D or Trump or nothing. I mean, Gavin Newsom shouldn't even be in the conversation for president. His body of work in San Francisco and then California should disqualify him. He has not led this state at all. We have wasted hundreds of millions of dollars on a bullet train that nobody wants. It's never going to cover the distance that it was supposed to cover. It's a pipe dream and a waste of money. We don't need a train in between San Diego and San Francisco or LA and Las Vegas. We don't need that train. There's such things as buses and planes. Planes, almost Thanksgiving. Remember, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, John Candy. You should watch it. It's a Thanksgiving movie. But off on a tangent as usual. But we need to make these people earn their leadership roles. But what they propose, somebody like Nikki Haley saying that she's willing to work on the abortion issue with both sides and be open-minded to both sides. That should be applauded. But no, it doesn't matter what her vision of the future is. It's going to come down to Trump. That's just it. The cult of personality. Whether or not he can accomplish anything, whether or not four years of Trump would lead to even more division in this country. Same thing with the Democrats. Biden, Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris. All right? A guy who's too old, a fucking idiot, and somebody who slept her way into politics and has no more qualifications than that. That's what we're throwing up. That's what we're going to put out there. Well, then you see a guy like Joe Manchin, somebody who, will take on his party, but he's retiring. He's not seeking re-election. He may be exploring, as he says here, speaking out to see if there is an interest in building a movement to mobilize the middle, finding common ground and bringing Americans together. So hopefully, somehow he actually ends up running. All right. But he's probably running for no labels, which is basically a political group headed by a bunch of idiotic Democrat front people, funded by people on the right, to take votes away from Biden or whoever the Democratic candidate is, so they can get Trump back into office. They're not working on coming up with solutions. It's just tactics. As we said, one of the tactics of the left is radicalize. And at the center of the pro-Palestinian rallies that they're having, that are turning ugly, that Jews are being assaulted at, it's Antifa. It's a bunch of young and dumb college kids who recruit a bunch of non-American Americans whose background is already very pro-Arab, anti-Jew. People like Tlaib. This from the B. Rashida Tlaib says Heil Hitler was just an aspirational call for freedom because she used the rallying cry of the terrorists. Those are the days that we live in now, where a member of our government can echo a foreign terrorist group's motto, and the left just kind of goes, oops. The media just goes, oh, well, we need to contextualize this. Maybe she didn't know what it meant. And by the way, Trump's being indicted. No, she should be shit-hammered. This is the truth about Hamas. This is the truth of why Palestine, or Gaza, is, as they like to call it, an open-air prison. Top 3 Hamas leaders worth a combined $11 billion. And live in Qatar with a lavish lifestyle. Isn't that fun, folks? Meanwhile, here in California, we got this. Simply living here is so freaking expensive because of government interference. Taxes, fees. I mean, hey, every time in California, it doesn't sound a lot, but on every gallon of gas, you pay 1 penny for underground storage. It's not a lot of money. I get it. But it's symbolic. Every time California adds some new thing, it costs us. It costs us. I mean, we finally had the freedom of just going to the store and buying our weed. 30% tax. Where's all the money go? To the fucking high-speed rail? To not building reservoirs? To not building nuclear reactors? To not cleaning up the streets, cleaning up the schools, hiring up the police force, hiring competent police force people? No? Where's it all go? It goes to dumbass pet projects. Billions go to the homeless. They want to talk about the military complex. We have the homeless complex here. But what they're proposing is very interesting. A true cost-benefit analysis on every state law, regulation, and mandate that is not imposed in other states. That is the kind of common sense shit that we should be dealing with right here. In every aspect of our life, we should always be looking at that. The risk to reward, the cost-benefit analysis. What is this really going to cost? Not vague. Not, this over here, it'll cost the government this much. No, where are you getting the funding? That's what I love about what's going on with the Republicans right now, where they're saying we'll fund the Israeli war by taking the money out of the IRS. That's how you're supposed to run a business. That's what we need here in California. Here's some of the numbers. I mean, we pay less on homeowners insurance, which is interesting, but again, you hear about the stories of the people not getting insurance, that they're out in the middle of the forest, okay? They're out in the danger zone, right into the danger zone. We pay less in health insurance, probably because we're healthier out here. But look at that. Gas, 25% higher. Food and grocery, 4%. But water, healthcare services, yeah. Electricity, look at that. 48% higher than the national average for electricity. Water, 47% higher. Gas, 25% higher. Those are the things that you need. And at the top of that list, renters pay 47 times higher than the national average. Okay, I get the 32%. I get that for homeowners. All right, I understand that. This is a place that everybody wants to live. I understand why we pay a lot of these things a little bit higher. But electricity and water are two things that the government can step in and fix. Gas is another one. They can step in and fix those kind of things, especially water. We were talking earlier, Gavin doesn't build reservoirs because the environmentalists. No, why don't you listen to the people, not your corporate overlords? Close this one out. Former CIA director admitted the Dirty 51 intel letter discrediting Hunter Biden laptop was political. Shocker. I will never trust the last election. And when I see things like the burying of the Hunter Biden laptop, now look, I don't know what the end result of the Hunter Biden laptop is, okay? I don't know if people are going to jail. I don't know what. I don't, heads could roll or just get a pass. I don't know anymore because we don't have any principles left in this country. So God only knows what's going to happen. But I do know that particular aspect was covered up to help Joe Biden win an election. I do know that. I do know that I do not trust these mass paper ballots that we did. Just dumping off ballots into a big box for people to count. No accountability. I know what happened in the recall of Gascon, where they changed rules around to allow or disallow signatures. They could play a lot of fast and loose there. But this kind of shit coming out really shows that what we are up against right now is a group of powerful people who want to go back to being kings and queens. And they want to take away all of our power. And we have got to act now and shake this shit up before it's too late. That's it. I'm really proud of myself for getting through this. I didn't think I could do it. But I had the courage to just get up and get in front of this camera again. And now America is going to have the courage to reject voting for whoever has a D or whoever's Trump. And we are really going to have to find a candidate and elect a candidate who could legitimately shake things up without just pissing people off. Because united we stand, divided we fall. Same goes here. I'm Kid Copious. I'm Purple State Party. And so are you. Be kind to yourself. Don't beat the shit out of yourself. And if you feel yourself down, just slip into that mud. Absorb the sadness and, analyze the anxiety. And you can get through it. Peace. Love y'all. Dance it out. Yeah, I'm not going to forget.